How to get over a divorce. If you are watching this video, sounds like you might be getting divorced, or maybe you're listening for a loved one, and I'm really sorry to hear that, but that is going to be our topic today: how to get over divorce, how to come out on top, how to come out feeling refreshed and new and ready to start a new life and be able to mourn properly and move forward and to become out totally empowered. And that is what we're talking about now. Hey, I'm Lisa. Welcome to Miracle Maker Mom. We empower moms and dads with awesome parenting tools and childbirth tips. So if you're new, feel free to subscribe, and I hope you're going to love it. I am also a single mom of 8 children, which means that I have been through a divorce. We were married for over 16 years. And anywhere you cut it, divorce is difficult. So here are my tips to getting through a divorce, being able to come through it on top, and how to, get over the divorce and move forward with your life. The first step, which you can absolutely not avoid, you can't move on without this, is mourning. You have to mourn what was. A lot of people just feel like when something is difficult, you just gotta okay, just move on, just don't think and keep going with your day. Get up in the morning, go to work, do all the regular things, just move on and just, forget and forgive and, move on with the next part of your life. And sometime it will catch up with you. So you have to take time to mourn. Just like when a person dies, you don't just the next day go out and party or go to work and regular everything. You need time to sit and mourn what was, It's the same thing when you get divorced. There was a lot of potential that you really were expecting was going to happen in this marriage, and a lot of love that was exchanged, a lot of time together, a lot of hope for the future and what's going to be, and expectations. And you really have to have time to be able to properly mourn that. And everybody does mourning in a different way. Some people really want to talk it out with a friend or someone they're close to. Some people just want to be alone. Some people like to write poetry or listen to music. There's so many different ways of mourning, but you have to take that time to cry. You have to take the time to be able to sit and think it through, remember memories, maybe write. My therapist told me to write a letter to my husband, pretending that it's the day before our wedding, and writing out all of our expectations for our future life together. And that was so powerful because it really brought out the emotions of disappointment, of all the things that I was really planning for our life together, really planning to see, that never came to fruition or didn't come to fruition in the way that I had hoped and desired and planned and expected and dreamed of. So, there's so many ways of mourning, but you really have to give yourself the time. You have to just recognize that mourning is a part of life and part of who we are as humans, that we have emotions and we have to feel those emotions. Because when you don't feel the emotions, you cover them up with I don't call it chocolate. I like chocolate, but chocolate could be anything. It could be, drugs, alcohol, watching movies all night. It could be any kind of something that people do in order to avoid feeling their feelings. And I don't know, that's what codependents call it. When you're codependent, you avoid feeling your feelings and you go and cover it up with some kind of chocolate, what I call chocolate or addiction. So feel your feelings, mourn, take the time to mourn, and appreciate that that's just part of life. You have to take the time to mourn. When I was mourning for my marriage, I mourned when I realized we were getting divorced, but then when the actual real divorce happened, when I got the actual paper, the floods just started all over again. And I actually sent an email to my close friends and my family saying that, like, I, need privacy for a couple days. Feel free to communicate through email, but I didn't want them calling me. And with my kids, I tried to, like, go through the motions, set them up to be on, doing stuff. I shuffled them here and there for those couple days, but I mostly spent a lot of time in my room doing my own thing, and that's okay. A lot of people are going to tell you to go for therapy. I did go for therapy and I did find it very beneficial. So if you can do that, but you've got to really find someone that works well with you, someone that's really good, someone who you're going to, your personalities are going to jive. And not every therapist is going to work for you. Not every type of therapy is going to work for you. So you really got to make sure that it works. But the thing that I gained most from therapy, and I did this not only with my therapist, but I did it on my own, was reconnecting with your younger self, reconnecting with who you are as a person inside, like inside who you really are. Because, at one point my therapist had me sit down and literally ask myself questions as if my older self, am asking questions to my younger self, like my child self, asking who are you? What's your name? Where, what's important to you in life, and what do you love most? It was really interesting. She had me with my dominant hand, she had me write the questions, and with my non-dominant hand, she had me write the answers. It was very interesting, like connecting two sides of the brain type of exercise, and I couldn't get over the things that came up. It was just like you sit there and wait for the answer to bubble up inside of you. It was amazing. But another thing that I did was I reconnected with what inspired me when I was younger. Obviously, everybody's different. But for me, the biggest inspiration of my life was Michael Jackson. His music, the lyrics, his humanitarianism, the We Are the World, all of that was a huge inspiration for me. And I actually honestly hadn't listened to his music in years, like many years. And I just somehow, maybe a few weeks or even a month after I got divorced, one of the lyrics to one of his songs just came up in my head, and I decided to go and investigate it. I went and listened to the song. I went to AZ Lyrics and got, all the actual lyrics, and I sat and studied them, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was the most inspirational song of my entire life. It was Man in the Mirror. And after that, I was like, wow, Michael Jackson was a huge inspiration for me in my life. Why was that? Why? What about him inspired me? What was it? I don't even remember anymore. It was so many years ago. It's right around when I was 13. I went out and started watching all of his interviews. I started buying his autobiography and all of the biographies about him. And I did a huge research to really understand who he was as a person and what it was about him that inspired me. I started listening to his music again, really reading and delving into the lyrics, and I learned a lot about myself. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Another thing that I did, which actually these two things went together, like therapy, connecting with myself, and music, was that when I was spending those few days really mourning by myself in my room, spending time with myself and connecting with myself, what came up for me were lyrics to songs that I used to love as a kid. Some were from Les Mis, some were Michael Jackson's, and these songs really connected with me. And what I did was I from AZ Lyrics, I took all the lyrics, I put them down in a word sheet, and next to each of the lyrics, I put in parentheses my own thoughts and how it connected to my divorce. It was so powerful for me. And then I listened to those songs again and again And again, I mean, enough to drive anyone else crazy. But for me, it was so therapeutic. I listened to the lyrics. I watched people performing them on YouTube, and then I sang them like crazy. I sent the lyrics along with my own little like additions to my closest family and friends, and it was amazing to see their response via email. It was an amazing experience for me. One was Man in the Mirror, one was On My Own, Pretending He's Beside Me. One was the finale of Les Mis. One was I Dreamed a Dream. They were all very powerful songs that I had loved as a child. So it was like sort of combining all the things I just said. It was combining, it was very therapeutic. It was during my mourning period. It was connecting with my inner self and connecting with what inspired me when I was younger. Because once you do these types of things and you mourn and you give yourself time to process and feel your feelings and, really connect with yourself inside with how you're feeling and connect with who you are as a person and what inspired you. It gives you the ability to move on, to go higher and higher and what inspires you more. And if those things that inspired you as a child really inspired you then, good chance that they'll inspire you now too. So why not go back to that and find what else inspires you? And I realized, both through therapy and through all of these things that I was learning about myself, that there are things that really I need in my life that I wasn't giving myself. You know, I wasn't giving myself that connection to music. I wasn't giving myself the connection to nature that I needed, to going out and just hiking or going to the water and the beach and just like enjoying the water and the beach. These are all things that I really need as a person. And, I feel like once I did these things and started feeding myself as a person and not just being a wife and a mother and what does everybody else need, that just like everybody else needs things, I also do. And if I want to be a person who's overflowing and giving to everybody else, I need to fill myself up first. So getting over a divorce is, I feel like part of it is the getting over the actual relationship that you had, and part of it is rediscovering who you are as a person and filling what needs to be inspired inside of you so that you can move forward and make a fabulous life for yourself. Because there's there's endless possibilities in this world, and our life is only as great as we make it. And when I took a step back and I said, look, I lost the relationship that I really thought was going to go somewhere, but I have a stunning family with 8 children, and that is such a blessing. And I am so lucky and so blessed and so grateful. Like, holy schmoly, I better make myself into a person who is excited about life, who's like going places, who's going to make our life like amazing, brilliant, awesome, so that my kids have an amazing life and they grow up not only happy but proud of themselves and inspired to make their lives brilliant and amazing. And that is what I have been trying to do since I have been divorced now 2.5 years. So that is my advice for you. Question of the day. If you are getting divorced with children, what is your biggest concern? What are you worried about the most if you're getting, divorced with children, whether they are younger, older, whether you just have a baby or maybe you're expecting, whatever it is, what are you most concerned and worried about getting divorced with children? Please leave your answers in the box below. Believe that you can get over this divorce, because whatever you believe, you bring into your life. And I really mean that with my whole heart and soul. I know that you still like this video because you're still here. So do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. Leave me any comments of anything you want to talk about or you want me to discuss in another video. And I will see you in the next video.